It's time to speak English with confidence using 5 simple methods. Are you ready? Well then, let's jump right in. Method number 1. Method number 1 is practice speaking in short, simple sentences. Once again, practice speaking in short, simple sentences. Why is this good? You see, this reduces pressure and helps you speak smoothly without overthinking. This is something that is very important. So how do you actually do this? So this is how you do this. You write 5 simple sentences about a situation. Again, in order for you to implement this first method, you have to write 5 simple sentences about a situation. So let's look at a simple situation. We see these individuals outside walking around, they're smiling. So how can we write a simple sentence about the situation? Well, here's the first sentence. The men are smiling and looking happy. That's a very simple sentence, right? Again, remember, we're focusing on simple sentences. So again, the men are smiling and looking happy. Then we have, they are wearing casual sports clothes. Next, one person is carrying a soccer ball. Next, the guy in the black shirt is holding goalkeeper gloves. And finally, the sky is bright and blue above them. So once again, what happened? We simply wrote 5 simple sentences, short, simple sentences about a situation. Remember, we're speaking about helping you speak English with confidence. Stop being nervous. You simply need to start off by giving simple sentences about the situation. That is method number 1. Method number 2 is another good one. Method number 2 is think in English, not your native language. I know. Again, the confidence piece, not being nervous. Method number 2 addresses these. Think in English, not in your native language. You see, you have to train your brain to form ideas in English so you don't pause to translate. That's what's happening. When you start thinking in your own language, you're pausing and you get nervous because the person is staring at you and you're trying to translate. You have to stop translating in your head. Instead, you have to think in English. So how do you do this? Here's the key. Use the 5 W's to describe various situations. Use the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. Let me show you how you can do this for method number 2. I want you to think about this situation. You see these individuals, they're playing soccer. It looks like they're having a great time. But remember, what is our goal? Our goal is to use the 5 W's to describe this situation. So here is the first W. Who? The soccer players on both teams. What? They're competing intensely for control of the ball. When? During an active moment of a live match. Where? On the field near the sideline of a professional stadium. You see what's happening, right? Continuing. Why? Each team is battling for possession to create scoring opportunities and gain a competitive edge in the match. Now again, what are we looking at? We're looking at a situation and we're helping you think in English using the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. This builds confidence. And let me be honest with you. Again, you're trying to build confidence. You want to speak English fluently. To be very honest, you have studied English for years. You've tried the apps, the courses, the YouTube videos, but you still can't speak with confidence, and this is frustrating. Here's what's been missing. Daily structure, not more information. You need a path. 1 lesson a day, show up, follow the system, and watch yourself become someone who actually speaks. Now, if you want to join the system I've created, the link is in the description. And when you're ready to stop restarting, hit that link and start following the system. So we have this method, again, this method that helps you stop thinking in your language. So we have the 5 W's. Now it's time for us to write a paragraph using the 5 W's. Listen to this paragraph. In this situation, the soccer players on both teams are competing intensely for control of the ball during an active moment of a live match. This takes place on the field near the sideline of a professional stadium where every moment matters. Each team is battling for possession to create scoring opportunities and gain a competitive edge in the match. What happened? That right there was a fluent English response, a response that started with thinking in English. Again, what was the first step? Creating the 5 W's to describe the situation. Who, what, when, where, and why. So method number 2 is very important. Think in English, not in your native language. Method number 3. Method number 3 is also very important. Use chunking instead of single words. Again, I love this method. Use chunking instead of single words. You see, chunking is all about speaking in natural phrases because it boosts fluency and reduces hesitation. If you're thinking in phrases and not just simply words, you're going to speak faster. You're going to speak with more confidence. So again, use chunking instead of single words. Now, how do you do this? So you have to memorize 5 phrases to describe a situation. Woo, baby, we are gonna change your English this year. Again, chunking is all about using natural phrases. So how can you do this? Again, memorize 5 phrases. Say it after me, 5. Excellent. 5 phrases to describe a situation. Now let's check out a situation. Here we go. We have the situation and we see this soccer player. He is practicing, he's dribbling the ball on the field. Now we need to get 5 phrases to describe what is happening. Here is the first phrase. Giving it his all. Giving it his all. Second phrase. Straining every muscle possible. Our third phrase. Showing intense determination. Now, what are you noticing? What are you noticing? You're noticing, wait a minute. These are phrases that I can memorize, and these phrases will naturally be able to be used later on to even describe other situations. So again, our third one, showing intense determination. Our fourth one, exerting a lot of energy. And finally, pushing himself to the limit. Pushing himself to the limit. So again, you're using chunking, memorizing phrases to describe a situation. And how many phrases? Ooh, you're smart. That's right. 5 phrases to describe a situation. This leads us into method number 4. Method number 4 is prepare 3. Say it with me. 3. Yes. Prepare 3 go-to phrases for common questions. Again, prepare 3 go-to phrases, phrases you will naturally lean on or use for common questions. What does this mean? Having ready-made answers eliminates pressure in real conversations. For example, if someone says, hey, Tip, how are you? Oh, I'm good. How about you? Or hey, Tip, how are you? Everything's gravy. How about you? I already have phrases ready in my mind. Why? Because I've practiced them over and over again. So, method number 4 is prepare 3 go-to phrases for common questions. Now, how can you do this? This is what you need to do. Select 3 common questions and then write 3 go-to responses. Again, select 3 common questions and write 3 go-to responses. So let's do that together. Here we go. So we have this situation where individuals look like they're talking. Maybe they're at work. So we need to select 3 common questions that would possibly come out in this situation. Here we go. Question number 1. How was your weekend? Question number 2. What do you think about this project? Question number 3. Do you have any ideas for our next meeting? Again, there are going to be common questions that will come up in different situations. In this situation, with your coworkers, sitting down, maybe it's during a break or during lunch or during a meeting. These are 3 questions that could possibly come up. So let's come up with 3 responses for these questions. All right, let's start with question number 1. Question number 1, let's remove this. Question number 1, how was your weekend? Response number 1, it was great. I spent some time with family and relaxed at home. Again, a response that you're gonna have ready when they ask you the question. Number 2, the second response to question 1, pretty good. I caught up on some reading and went for a long walk. Or you could say, not bad at all. I tried a new restaurant and really enjoyed it. So what's happening? You already have your responses ready. On the weekends, you prepare your responses. Monday, you go to work. Monday, you're in a meeting on Zoom and your coworker asks you a question. You already have the rehearsed responses, right? What about the second question? Here's the second question. What do you think about this project? Response, I think it's really interesting and has a lot of potential. Response number 2, and I'll read it for you. It's challenging, but I believe we can make it work. Response number 3, I'm on board with it. The goals are clear and achievable. Again, you prepared these responses ahead of time. And question number 3, do you have any ideas for our next meeting? 3 responses. Response number 1 or letter A. Yes, I think we should focus on the timeline and deliverables. Response number 2, maybe we could review the feedback we received and adjust our approach. And response number 3 or letter C, I'd suggest we brainstorm some creative solutions to the challenges we're facing. So again, you are prepared ahead of time. You have your 3 responses to the 3 common questions. This is method number 4 and naturally leads into method number 5. I don't want you to feel nervous anymore. I want you to be confident. Here is method number 5. Build vocabulary around topics that you talk about often. Again, build vocabulary around topics that you talk about often. In other words, familiar vocabulary reduces blank moments of nervousness and it actually increases your confidence. When you speak about, let's say, for example, I love cooking. I also enjoy sports. I also enjoy exercising. So when I was learning Korean, I would learn words around those topics, words connected to those topics. Why? When those topics came up, I felt more confident because I knew the vocabulary words. So again, familiar vocabulary reduces those blank moments and increases your confidence. So let's see how this would work in a certain situation. We see these friends watching a movie. They look a little bit nervous. They're anticipating something happening. What are the words? Word number 1, engrossed. Word number 2, captivated. Word number 3, anticipation. Word number 4, enthusiastic. Word number 5, riveted. Again, we have 5 words to describe this situation. Maybe you like watching movies with your friends often, and you usually watch suspenseful movies. So you need 5 vocabulary words about that type of situation. So again, we have our 5 vocabulary words: engrossed, captivated, anticipation, enthusiastic, and riveted. So now our question is, how can we create sentences? Here we go. First word, engrossed. It just means deeply absorbed or fully focused on something. Here's the sentence. The fans are completely engrossed in the game unfolding on the screen. Engrossed. Then we have captivated, our second word. This just means having one's attention held completely by something interesting or exciting, which is exactly what happened when we saw the video. Next, anticipation. Oh, let's get the sentence. The viewers appear captivated by the intense match, unable to look away. That was captivated. Now we have anticipation, just meaning the feeling of excitement about something that is going to happen. Sentence, you can see the anticipation on their faces as they wait to see what happens next in the game. Our fourth word, enthusiastic, just meaning showing intense and eager enjoyment or interest. The sentence, the group looks enthusiastic about supporting their team during this crucial moment. And our fifth word, riveted. It just means completely fascinated or absorbed by what one is seeing or hearing. Here's the sentence. Everyone seemed riveted to the television, not wanting to miss a single second of the action. So again, you see, for our fifth method, build vocabulary around topics you talk about often. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Remember, these 5 methods will help you. And don't forget to join the system, the 365-day English fluency system that will help you be consistent, because consistency is what brings change. The link is in the description, and I will talk to you in the next lesson. You still there? You know what time it is. It's story time. Hey, hey, hey. I said it's story time. All right. Now, in today's lesson, I spoke to you about feeling nervous and helping you feel more confident, and I gave you 5 methods. So I want to tell you a story that I've told some of my students before, but a story about a time when that's right, your teacher Tiffani, felt nervous. Now, I mentioned earlier when we were talking about building vocabulary around topics you like to discuss that I love sports and I love exercise. So this happened when I was working for a large corporation in, I think it was 2007. 2007, I was working for a large corporation. I was one of their head web developers, and I loved working there. My coworkers were great. We got along very well. And so I remember one day they said, hey, it's the summertime. We're going to have basically an office picnic, and part of that picnic was going to include a kickball game. Now listen, I love sports, I love exercise. When I was in grade school, I was the fastest female runner. When I was in high school, I was voted the most athletic female. When I was in college, I was voted the most athletic female out of all the females at my college, my university. Just to show you, I love sports. So, even as an adult now, 2007, they said, hey, we're going to play kickball. Now, if you are not familiar with kickball, imagine baseball, but instead of hitting the ball with a bat, it's a large ball, a large red ball, and you kick it. So it's kind of like soccer and baseball had a baby, kind of. So there's a pitcher, and the pitcher pitches the ball, rolls the ball, and you have to kick the ball, but you have to run to the bases. Now, I played kickball as a child almost every day of the week. We loved kickball when I was growing up. So when they said kickball, I said, count me in, right? So I was excited. So, I'm working all day. Everything's going good. I love my job. And so you can kind of feel the anticipation building up with our coworkers. Like, I see you at 4 o'clock. See you at 4 o'clock. We're all ready, right? So 4 o'clock comes, we go out to the field, not too far from our office, and I changed my clothes. Everyone changed their clothes, and we're on the field. We have our teams separated. So we're playing, and then it comes my turn to kick the ball. Now, my coworkers didn't know about my history of being an athlete, right? So I said in my mind, I'm about to show my coworkers my skills, right? So I'm feeling good, right? Confident. So I get to the mound, right? Well, the pitcher is about to pitch the ball, and I'm standing, right? And she pitches the ball, right? She pitches the ball. The first one, was kind of a fluke. It didn't really work out. So she said, don't worry, I'll do it again, Tiff. I said, no problem, girl, no problem. Again, I had confidence. So she pitches the ball, and it just felt right. And I pulled back. I said, oh, I'm about to launch this ball to the outfield, and I'm going to get a home run. So the ball comes. I kick my leg back now. It's the summertime. And I bring it forward to launch this ball. And I hit the ball. And it goes. But as the ball is flying in the air and I'm watching it, all of a sudden I feel a breeze. Now, it was a summer day. It wasn't a windy day. I'm watching the ball, but my legs, I said, why is there so much wind on my legs? Then it happened in slow motion. I look at my coworker who was the one that had pitched the ball, and her face is like, Tiff, and she's running towards me in slow motion. And then I look at my other coworker on my team, and she's also running toward me, and I'm like, what is happening? The wind is getting stronger on my legs. She's running toward me. The ball is flying. What's happening? And I look down. You see, what I failed to tell you was I was wearing breakaway pants. Breakaway pants are the pants, for example, that, let's say someone playing basketball. You have your basketball shorts on, and before the game, you're wearing your warm-up outfit. It's a pair of pants, and they button on the sides from the top to the bottom. They button on the sides so that when you're ready to play the game, you can just rip them off very easily. Well, the wind that day decided that it wanted to rip my pants off. The problem is I did not have basketball shorts on under these breakaway pants. So when I kicked that ball and launched it, the pants said, "Sayonara, Tiff, we're going to," and my pants flew off. Remember? My coworkers, not my close friends, my coworkers were the individuals I was playing with. My pants flew off with the ball. My coworkers, 2 females, are running towards me, trying to catch my pants, trying to watch me. And in that moment, I felt nervous. My confidence flew away. I said, I'm standing here with no clothes on, Lord. Needless to say, they got to me quickly, got my pants. The women surrounded me so I could put my pants. We were playing with guys too. My other male coworkers tried to turn away. They helped me put my pants on they got my pants, we put them on very quickly. And there was a moment of silence. Everyone looked at me. I looked at them. I said, well, let's play ball. We all just busted out laughing. What do you do in that moment? I mean, it was very embarrassing. It was a moment that I will never forget, and I'm sure my coworkers will never forget. I was nervous in that moment. I felt exposed. So you might feel nervous like this, but sometimes you just have to laugh it off and play ball. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I want you to remember, moving forward in this year, you can speak English with confidence. If a moment happens where you feel nervous, just get over it, move through it, and play ball. I'll talk to you in the next lesson.